Hey, how's it going? I'm Jack, and today we'll be doing a Q&A video for our 2K sub special, which was originally supposed to be for 1K, but I'm bad at planning. I'll be taking questions that were asked in either the community post or the Discord, link in the description. Alright, so starting off, will you do live streams of you making music? So, I've put a little bit of thought into this to show a bit of the behind the scenes on what it's like to make these songs from scratch. Originally I was gonna put the live streams on to Discord, but I also know that Twitch and YouTube are also both valid options, so I might put up a poll and just let you guys decide. What's your creative process like? So I guess there's 2 to 3 answers to this, depending on whether a song's an original, a cover, or a fan-made score. For original songs, it usually starts as a jingle that comes into my head, and from there I build on top of the jingle. This one can get kind of annoying at times though, because I'll have a jingle I can't get out of my head, and I'll have about 2 to 3 minutes of it already structured in there. And then once I finally get to my music making software, I've already forgotten it. For covers, it kind of falls into the whole earworm territory as well. Usually I like making covers of songs that get stuck in my head for a few days. This applies to mashups as well, where sometimes when I'm listening to a song, another one will start playing in my head, and now I have to try to tinker around with the 2 songs to see if they work together. Now, fan-made scores have been the most unique, and at the current moment, the most fun to create, as they feel like an odd mix of both original music and covers. For these songs, it feels like I'm trying to create kind of like a biopic for a character or a scene, and I usually like to set the tone to fit with their personality, while also creating motifs to later be associated with them. For series like the Bikini Bottom Horror and Scoob and Shag, I used motifs from existing music, since the characters in these works are parodies of other respected shows. This has helped to both link the characters to their original shows, while also adding an element of nostalgia to the mix. Record of Ragnarok has been an interesting one, since it's not a parody, so I don't have any of the pre-existing motifs to fall back on. I also started making these songs before the anime dropped, so at the time the official music didn't exist yet. Because of that, I've had to create my own original themes and motifs for each character. I've definitely enjoyed doing this though, because it feels like I have my own score for the manga. How do I make decent music even when I had music studio for an entire year now? So this is gonna sound extremely cheesy, but the honest answer is to just keep making music. I first started with music by learning to play the piano, and in the beginning it was literally just me mashing onto the keyboard, trying to find notes that I thought sounded nice. By the time I started making music in Music Studio, I had about 7 years of experience built up from piano lessons and being in a choir school. And even then, if you look at my earliest videos, the music was still pretty rough. 2 other things I would recommend, however, is to practice in music, either with an instrument or watching videos on music theory, and try to make covers of other songs. I've learned that replicating music made by others can teach you a bit of the strategies others use when making music. What's your favorite song you've composed and why? So, I have 3 answers to this. The lazy answer, which is whichever song is the most recently made, but at the current moment, I'd have to give it to 2 songs for similar but kind of different reasons. The first one would be Welcome to the Macro Ecosystem, which was a Bikini Bottom horror song I made for Squidward. Squidward was my favorite character in the series, but his theme marked something interesting for the channel. Prior to that, I was just making covers and original songs of things I thought sounded neat. But when I posted Squidward's theme and Patrick's onto the Bikini Bottom Horror subreddit, the videos blew up larger than anything I had created at the time. So that song has a special place in my heart. The second song would be Adamas from the Record of Ragnarok songs. At that point, I was primarily making songs for the Bikini Bottom Horror, and I had made the Jack the Ripper theme because why not? The issue was, for the most part, all of my songs had motifs from other works that it never felt like it was exclusively my music. Reading the Adam vs. Zeus fight, which was my introduction to Record of Ragnarok, and seeing that climactic fight, and the absolutely freaking terrifying form that was Adamas, I had really wanted to make a theme for Zeus. The issue was this time though, the score was 100% original compared to Jack's theme and all of my Bikini Bottom Horror content, so I felt a bit exposed since there were no motifs to hide behind this time. When the song first dropped, it struggled to make as much commotion as the rest of the music I was dropping at the time, and I was honestly ready to leave my Record of Ragnarok songs with Jack and Zeus, but over time support for Zeus's theme increased and so did the demand for more Record of Ragnarok themes. Now Adámas sits as one of the top 5 most popular songs on my channel, so Adámas is definitely special to me. Do you have plans to make music for other fandoms? If so, name a few. Ever since the Bikini Bottom Horror ended, I've definitely been conscious of the fact that all the series I make music for will inevitably end. I'm one fight away from catching up to Record of Ragnarok, and Scoob and Shag has been on hiatus for about 4 months now. One of the things that I'm trying to do with this channel is to only work on projects that I'm personally interested in. That way I can try to stave off burnout for as long as humanly possible. That being said, I currently have my eyes on Tales of Destruction. At the moment, I think it's only about 4 chapters in, but I think that would be another cool piece to make songs for each specific character. Once it's a little further in, of course. Other than that, this doesn't really count as a fandom, but I do have a Record of Ragnarok styled idea where I would make 12 themes for 12 combatants, but each combatant would be based off of one of the 12 zodiacs. Then I'd make themes of each of the zodiacs fighting each other, and you guys would vote on who moves on to the next round. Kind of like the popularity polls we've been doing in the community tab. It'll probably be a while before I start that one, because I would really want to commit myself to that project, and I would also like the community to be a bit more tight-knit so that we can build this project together. Other than those 2 things, I'm also open to suggestions, as long as you're aware that it's not a guarantee that I'll start making music for your favorite fandom. Do you plan on collaborating with anyone? Hells yeah. So far, the most I've done in collabs is with my personal friends, Axel Sorax and Do You Know What's Funnier Than 24?
Let me hear it.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage
But yeah, my personal friends, Axel Sorax and El Nino. Okay, you know. But yeah, a collab would definitely be fun to do. Do you know the web manga The Boxer? So I've never actually read this one, but looking at the cover, it gives me Baki or Keegan Omega vibes, which I've also haven't read, but I'll give it a look. Do you ever hit writer's block? And how do you manage to break out of it? So usually by the time I'm working on a song, I'll usually have about 3 minutes or so ironed out. But after that, I'm kinda lost. In the past, I used to just work on other songs until inspiration would come to me, but that led to a lot of songs never getting finished, and to this day, they kinda just sit there. And since I have a channel now and a mess ton of ideas, I can't really do that anymore. So what I find myself doing now is just mashing a bunch of keys until something that sounds nice comes along and I roll with it. So nothing's changed from when I learned to play the piano. How's life been since you've graduated? Ah, yes. So, update for those who don't know. I graduated from college back in June, and since then I have been thrust into the cold, merciless coil of the adult world. Things have been interesting, to say the least. There's currently a weird phenomena going on where everyone is desperate for workers, yet no one wants to hire. So, other than a few gigs here or there, I've mostly been unemployed. Still hunting though. Looking forward to any games coming out. You know, you'd think for someone who's unemployed, I'd have plenty of time to play games, but other than my occasional addiction to RimWorld, I haven't really had much time to play video games, but let's take a look at the nominees for Game of the Year. So I haven't played any of these games. Well, let's see some of the games announced. Haven't played any of the Star Wars games. Lots of DC games coming out. Oh, Among Us VR is fucking cursed. Oh hey, Telltale's back. Hopefully they can actually run a business this time and not fuck over their employees. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre game depresses me because Friday the 13th is officially dead, and I really miss that game a lot. I hope Saints Row is good, and honestly I hope Universes is good too. And with that, we have concluded our first Q&A video. I think the next time we will do a video like this, or kind of a special themed video, will be when we hit 5K subs. That's our next goal. I was also supposed to do an update video in June, but it's been a crazy few months. That's the best way I can put it. But I do have a few updates, some of which I mentioned a little bit during the Q&A. So the first one, hopefully I will have this video out on Sunday. If not, you guys will probably have already seen it on the channel, but Buddha and Zero Fuku will both have their themes dropped for the holidays. Zero's theme is dropping on Christmas, and Buddha's theme is dropping on New Year's. The songs are done, so you don't have to worry about the long list of songs that I haven't finished. They're currently in the Discord if you want to hear them early. Another big announcement by very popular request. The Bikini Bottom Horror and Ragnarok Volume 1 are both on Spotify, Apple Music, and a whole bunch of other music platforms that I have not checked. Bikini Bottom Horror has every single song I've made for that series, and Ragnarok Volume 1 consists of the first 3 fights from Record of Ragnarok. That I made, not the actual one. Final shameless plug, but definitely check out the Discord. I post music early on there as soon as it's finished, and occasionally we'll do stuff. What the stuff is, I have no idea, but stuff will happen eventually. And finally, before we wrap up the video, I just wanted to thank you guys again for all the support that you guys have given this past year or two. If you were to tell me that this channel would be where it is now, like 8 years ago when I first started, I would not believe you. Especially because it was for a long time, especially back in like 2016, a lot of my music was very niche audiences, so it always felt like the music that I made would only get noticed if it was based off of a big platform. But as time goes on, slowly and steadily, I feel like you guys have been giving my actual music a chance, which definitely means a lot. Again, it's one of the reasons why Adamas means so much to me, because it's less about me making covers and me actually making music now, and I'm now in a place where I feel like I have a lot of ideas that I feel like you guys will be able to enjoy, and I'm very excited for the future. With all that being said, thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace.